Welcome. We're so glad you're here today. Thanks for coming. A couple of things just to talk to you about this morning. Like she said, we're going to talk a little bit about security. One thing that we're really blessed to have here at our Redeemer, as you know, are some awesome teachers who are the first line of defense when it comes to safety. They've been trained, they've been working hard, they've been making sure that every piece of the puzzle is ready to go for students. So then on the admin side, we get to spend a little time making sure that things can be even safer, even easier, and even better for them. So we've been working with a company called Verkada that's come to give us some tips and some help, and then a company that we can employ and hire to help us with a couple of different things. They're not new. They're in the Dallas area. They're in Texas, all over the place. So not only are they familiar with us, but they're familiar with lots of surrounding areas, lots of great schools you'll see on there that we consider to be awesome as well. So we're enjoying getting to know them and getting to work with them just a little bit. So this is probably what you really want to know. This is just a few of the things that we're excited that are going to be coming to our Redeemer here very soon. There's lots of different things up there, and there's lots more that they can do. But if we did all of that, you would be here for hours. So we're going to spend some time just talking to you a little bit about our highlights. So first, this year, very soon, we're going to be adding over 40 cameras inside and outside, which is going to help us lock down a little bit more on security. Along with that, we're going to be adding card access locks. So we're going to get rid of our codes and go to a card access. And I'm skipping around here, but the thing I love most about that is we're going to be able to control who is on our campus, when they're on our campus, and why they're on our campus. So at any moment, we can say, yes, you can come in, or no, you can't. Or maybe our renters, for example, that might use the gym, they only have access to that door from this time to this time, and then it turns off. It makes things really safe for us who are already in the building, and then for the building when nobody's here also. So our external entry points are going to have cameras for absolute secured access. So those of you that might have a Ring doorbell, think of it as kind of like that, but on a little bit of a bigger scale. So it's going to be able to show us who's at the door, so we can say, yes, we know you, or I can't recognize your face. We might maybe send Mr. Jackson down there to check out who that is. Along with that, we talked about the advancing door access to make sure that everybody is safe, who can be where and why, that sort of thing. Instant mobile alerts. So this is really cool. If we sense at any time that there's motion somewhere where there shouldn't be, it's going to send an alert to those of us who have access to it and let us know that something's going on. So maybe that's the middle of the night, somebody's on the playground, they shouldn't be. Or maybe, room 125 is supposed to be empty right now, and all of a sudden there's somebody in there. It's going to sense that movement and let us know to go check it out. There will be a quick, swift response in emergencies. So we'll be able to call on enforcements and get people here quickly. And then along with that, be able to lock down our security, our facility right away, so that nobody can move within unless we allow them to make sure that we're safe. And doesn't let anyone else in except for like police authorities and that sort of thing. It also will let us share our floor plan with police officers as they arrive. So in the event of something really awful going on campus, we can share with them the floor plan and what we see on the camera, so that they can instantly see, all 10 police officers that show up could see where the problem is, and then they can brainstorm quickly how to get where they need to be to dissolve any kind of situation. One also really cool thing about it is expandable. So if we get rolling with it and we're like, wait a minute, we need 2 more cameras at this place and this place, that's easy to do. Or when we look for our expansion here very soon, which you're going to hear about, we're able to mold it and change it to meet the needs of that new campus as well. So we're not locked into a one size fits all. We're able to adapt it to how we need. This next slide is going to hit kind of our key. Oops, got a few people.
Just kidding.
Or maybe not.
What's going on here? You want to help me, Jessica?
The next slide is just going to hit the highlight points.
Why do you think it's not?
There we go. Made us click that time.
So good.
Not sure why.
Isn't she?
gives us proactive alerts so that we can, we're not on the defense. We're being able to be proactive, which is one thing we love about it. Instant live monitoring. So this is obviously not our campus, but someone else's campus. The camera you can see is really clear. It's easy to see who's there. You're not trying to guess what's going on. And then the last thing that we love about it is it's going to reduce the response time with those police officers and law enforcement showing up and sharing our footage with them so that we can take care of situations should they arise. This here is an example of what law enforcement would see when they would come in. So you can see where they might detect movement or where there might be an error. This obviously is not our floor plan. But they have a look into our school to see a situation, and then they can identify the things that they need to do to get the situation resolved. So, and as you can see, they can kind of see through the things that need to happen there. The next piece that we're going to move into, I'm going to pass it over to Mrs. Davis. I will tell you that I told you our staff is highly trained in all their safety situations, which is awesome. One of the things we're practicing today is a fire drill. So you'll notice we're going to end our town hall meeting here pretty swiftly at the stop time because we're going to do our first drill today to make sure everybody knows what to do and where to go. So we do our drills quite regularly so everybody knows what to do, when to do it, where to go. It just all works like clockwork. We have some really talented people around here.
I mean, one of the things that Travis, our security officer, spends a lot of time on is walking the campus and making sure every door is locked, every door is shut, because that's a risk. This system, we will know straight away that every door is locked and every door is shut. The after hours alerts, we actually went ahead and did the license. So we have a security monitoring system. So they'll be the first line of defense. Like someone comes in at 2 in the morning, what if it could be me and they'll investigate it, right? If I'm going in there I'm on my way out of town and I want to pick up something before I leave on an early morning flight or something. So they will be monitoring that before they take it to the next level of the police or just letting one of us know. But it really is, the company's name is Verkada, and they've done a lot of schools. That's their specialty. And it's going to be really nice. Oh yeah, announcements. We might need to pause for a second. Yeah.
We have all different flavors and good food too.
That will all be included. The church, that's all included. I mean, right now everything's locked. Yes. Yeah, mostly, but they do. But see, we're going to have a video that we doorbell on that one too. We're also going to have one on the gate over here. We're going to enclose that preschool playground. And we'll hop right off there. Yeah, that was just a question. Straight up. Text message.
Can you tell
Yeah,
people
that's good.
on the mic?
There was a good question. There was a question. What?
Lower the mic.
Lower? Okay, sorry. There was a question about the church side. This includes every building on this campus. It's not just this building. The security system will include every building on this campus. And so it's pretty tight.
We'll have time for additional questions at the end of our meeting. So now the exciting part, we have been talking about expanding the greatness of our Redeemer for the last little while. And what that will look like is we really want to add 7th and 8th grade. And you might ask, why do we want to expand? We all know middle school is the most challenging years. And we all chose our Redeemer to give our children the gift of a Christian childhood. Because when they go to a public school, we can't talk about God. We can't talk about Jesus. You don't know the friends, and it's not a tight-knit community. You don't know what the teacher's telling your child. We teach the same text and same curriculum that public schools teach, but we are able to refer back to the Bible and to refer back to our Christian foundation whenever there's a struggle. That might be a struggle in making friends. That might be a struggle in our bodies changing or our attitude, any of those things that come along with middle school. And we have heard over the years repeatedly that everyone wishes that our Redeemer had 7th and 8th grade because 6th grade is a hard transition time. Your children are here. We're building relationships with them. We're loving them. We're filling them up, not only with their self-esteem and their confidence, but with their Christian growth. So our goal is, our target year is to be ready with 7th and 8th grade during school year 26-27, which is our current 4th graders. Our goal is to have it ready by the time the children are in 4th grade to be sitting in a 7th grade classroom. So we have 3 years for research. And I feel truly blessed that in my experience, I have had the opportunity to be a leader in the public schools. Because if you are part of a private school and you've never seen what goes on in public school, you want to make sure that we are competitive with other schools. That means other schools such as public school. We want to be just as great and have those programs. We also are researching what other private schools do. I ask during my head of school meetings with the parents that come and visit, I say, because they all asked during the interview, we'd love to join our Redeemer. And I'd say, great, let me ask you this question. What programs or what have you seen or found out other schools are doing while you're touring? And they are astounded that I even asked that question. But that's what I want to reach out to all of you as parents and as our community members. Give us ideas. If you see great programs going on at other schools, we want to do it here. So we are asking those questions, taking our team to go visit those other schools to see how it's done. The other thing are electives. We want to make sure we have every type of elective open for our children here. That looks like STEM. That looks like art, drama, having a real stage, having a gym. The other things are sports and fine arts, speech, debate, all of those wonderful things, and sports teams so that they can play with their core Our Redeemer friends. And lastly, resources. To be competitive, we need to know what the private schools and the school districts around us are using and doing so we can bring it to Our Redeemer. The other thing, we need to be goal-minded about our children being able to get into any high school or college they want. They are going to be asking those questions when they apply. So we are going to go to the high schools that our children would want to get into and have an advisor here as our goal to help say, you love band. This high school would be good for you. You're excellent in math. You're STEM minded, you're drama minded, and be able to guide our children in those ways. But we know it's very competitive in the private school and even the public school magnet world to be able to get involved. So we are going to be focusing on high school and college readiness and building relationships with those high schools, letting them know what we're doing here at Our Redeemer. So when they see an application of an Our Redeemer student come through, they get excited because they know we have the very best kids and the very best parents for their support system. So our goal, as we show you what our plan is in the next slide, is to be able to build phase 1 and phase 2 as close as possible. But what that means is we're going to rally together to fundraise, and also our church is looking at how they can help support in the cost. This goes along with expandable security. So Mrs. Bangert shared with you about Verkada and all the wonderful things we'll be doing. We'll be adding those to our buildings to come. So currently, this is our map that we have created and our plan we have created with HKS as our architect, along with core teams of Our Redeemer parents, teachers, staff, alums, pastors, council, president, school board. Everybody has been involved in this plan. So what you will see is right now, everything in red is existing. This is our existing gym. Our first phase, phase 1, would be classrooms, 12 classrooms where we would be able to add 7th and 8th grade. The goal is to move all the children that are over here by the offices to the main core of the building. So this would be the early childhood wing. And then these right here are elementary classrooms. The elementary and middle school would all be in this building here, so that you would have early child here and elementary and middle school. One thing I want to mention, you do not want to mix elementary children and middle school children. They're not like-minded. They're very different. So when I point to the building, don't panic. We're not going to have your kindergartner hanging out with the 7th grade. Okay, don't worry. Remember, my child goes to school here too, so I'm really invested. Okay, so these would be classrooms. They would consist of STEM, technology, science lab. The interesting part is now, because of the big tornado that hit Dallas, we have to build a code. This would be a building that's a storm shelter. We can still have class and learn while we're duck and covering. How cool is that? Okay, then our next phase, phase 2, would be 16,000 square feet. This would be the gym. We really need a real stage. We truly do. To do drama and all of our plays and programs and band and orchestra, right? And then this would open up to a lunchroom and lockers. Now you may ask, why is this not connected? Please know we all ask that question at least 18 million and one times. And it is because this right here, and I know it's a little blurry, but it's going to be recorded, so you will receive it. This right here is the carpool line and a fire lane. So with the fire regulations, a fire hose has to reach behind this building. So if these were connected, the fire hose can't reach all the way around right here. This has to stay open so a fire hose can come here. All of this will have covered walkways and have secure doors, but that is why they are separated. Now, whenever we first talked about this and we talked about phase 1 and adding classrooms, we thought as a team that's not good enough. You can't have a thriving 7th and 8th grade without the extras, without the sports, without the electives, without the fine arts, without all of those things that make a well-rounded young person. So that is why our goal is to build both of them, because who wants to just sit in a classroom all day whenever you're in middle school? You want to have a gym, you want to have a stage, you want to do all those programs that all the other schools do. So our goal is to build both of these at the same time. Next, this right here is phase 3. This would be a library, a research place for additional STEM, for electives, a band room, an orchestra room. We can still do all these things within this building, but as we grow and flourish and keep up with the Joneses and make sure we have the very best at our Redeemer, we're going to want to add this building. So you may ask, where's the elementary playground? This is glorious. The elementary playground is contained right in here, so everybody's safe. We still have our soccer field. We still have the lovely layout of our Redeemer where we have grass areas to play and the garden and all of that. But it all depends upon our fundraising and how quickly we can get it done. So you may say, what's next? I knew you were asking what's next. What's next? Okay, so right now HKS is developing the cost for each phase to give us some ideas of what it's going to cost, as well as informational materials, because you're going to want this in your hands. As you make the decision to stay at our Redeemer, you're going to want to know what we're planning for your child as we move forward for 7th and 8th grade. So right now, currently, and this is why the one and only awesome Sarah Booker's here, because she's our financial director, we're developing financial models with the cost to build and as also our fundraising goals. We're going to all work together to make this glorious place for our middle schoolers. And lastly, once this is all wrapped up where HKS develops the cost and has an idea of what exactly that will look like, we're going to take it to our church council for approval. So you may say, well, why are you doing all this without church council approval? They are on board. They know it's what's best for kids. Our pastors are excited. Our teachers are excited. Our congregation is excited. We just need to make it formal and make sure that we're all bought in to the costs. Would you like to add anything?
I will just say, if you go back to that other map, I don't want there to be any confusion. We're not building a lake.
Oh, yes.
This is not a lake. We won't have kids. We won't be doing rowing or anything like that. That's just, the architects did that Oh, sorry. The architects did that so that, that's what, we can't build over there. It's a drainage thing. So they just kind of made a little lake. We can actually even put some play structures on there eventually if we want to, but we are not going to have Lake Redeemer out there.
Oh, one other thing. This right here is part of this building right here, because we know we have the premier early childhood program. People come from all over Dallas to send their kids here for preschool. So this is pie in the sky. If we were to continue to grow, we need more sections for our preschool. This also has been drawn in. But right now our goal are these two, then this one, because we can move early childhood into here and add this. So I know you all have questions. Yes.
Hold it.
Yes.
Would the goal be to start with 7th and then grow them into 8th, or you would start 7th and 8th in the same year and have basically kids that had not been here or grown here?
That is an excellent question. So our plan is to grow them into 7th and then add 8th. But here's the thing, if it's all built and they want to bring our children to our Redeemer and we're ready, we may look at it and go, we can minister to 12 more children and have the program for them. But right now it's the children who are here will grow into 7th and then we'll have 8th. Any other questions? Yes.
This is just a logistics question, but in looking at how we would add the number of people that would be on campus, where is the additional parking? Is that additional parking that I see next to the soccer field? Is that some parking? Okay.
This parking will still stay and then we'll have parking down.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
whole lot, but it's at
Some, yeah.
And then not having enough parking really is a good thing, because that means we're thriving. And we're so thankful to North Park Mall that lets us park across the street. We know that isn't necessarily fun, especially when it's 110, but it's a good problem to have. So we hope that parking lot is full. Any other questions? Yes.
We have 2 gyms then, one for the lower elementary and one for the, or I mean, the preschool and then upper elementary.
Yes. And the other thing by having 2 gyms is it would make our campus a prime place to host tournaments. So we could have 2 gyms, one here and one here. And then the idea was to be able to open this up and have a concession stand. How great would that be that you all don't have to travel far away for sports tournaments? And it would also bring in money to help pay off our expansion loan. So yes, that was not a parent crying, everyone. Just want you to know. Any other questions? Okay, I'll repeat your question so I don't have to walk so much.
And I was late.
That's okay.
Did you say you'll figure out what the total cost is gonna be at?
The question was, what is the total cost? Great question. We don't know yet. HKS is working up the numbers, and then when we know, we are going to take it to the council, vote to officially do it, and then we will release that information to our families so that we can start our fundraising campaign. Good question.
I'm gonna go ahead and end our Zoom.
Okay. Before we end, Mrs. Booker, will you take a picture? I have to tell you, I am absolutely thrilled this many people joined in person. People on Zoom, there are over 250 people sitting here in the cafeteria. Can you hear them laugh? But thank you. This means so much to me. And this is an opportunity for us to visit with you about things going on and get to know your faces. Also, for everyone that's attending either by Zoom or in person, if there are questions you have, ideas you have, or things you want to know, please reach out, because we can work on those programs. We can add that to our school. We can present about it during a town hall. We are here to grow and learn. Our children only have one childhood, and we want to make it the very best. So any feedback you have, please share, because we want our children to benefit. Thank you so much for joining today. We appreciate you. Yes, and please, and take some hot coffee, but if you burn yourself in the collar,